How's it going out there, YouTube land and also social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out and is a DC film that has been many years in the making and is kind of a soft reboot to the DC universe. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the great places I pretty much post on a regular basis. And also, people, if you are a fan of my channel and want to show support, definitely go check out my Patreon page where you can get all kinds of extra accoutrement you don't get here on my YouTube channel. You know, for those that are Patreon members. So definitely go check that out too. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out today, June 16th, into theaters, and is a DC film that, like I said, has been many years in the making, and like I said, a very soft reboot to try to restart the DCEU, which happens to be called The Flash. Yeah, The Flash. Yeah. So I got to see The Flash last night, and by golly, was this an amazing freaking film. I was blown away with how good this film was, and even though it was in development hell and in, you know, its processing of directors and writing and actors and all that kind of stuff, this turned out to be a really fantastic film. And, you know, unlike New Mutants that was delayed several times too as well and had kind of some issues similar, this film actually is still a very cohesive story and really helps to kind of reunite the DC fans and also at the same time, you know, start off, you know, James Gunn's and Peter Safran's new version of the DCU. Now, of course, this film, like I said, went through a whole bunch of directors, but the director that ended up coming on and directing and making this such a phenomenal film is none other than Mr. Andy Muschietti. Oh yeah, Andy Muschietti, woo, Andy Muschietti, yeah! Andy Muschietti is a fantastic director. I love his direction. I love what he does with his films, and he has a really good eye for all the different accoutrements that make a film really good. Now, just in recent news, if you did not hear or see, he actually was just recently tapped to film the first Batman film for James Gunn, Peter Safran's new DCEU. And it's actually going to be called Batman Brave and the Bold. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with that film, especially because of how well he did this film itself. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, you know, I don't think he did that great of a job and so forth because of how the CGI ended up and stuff like that. But if you go and do a little research, actually, recently, he mentioned in a couple different articles recently that the CGI was a certain way in certain aspects and to look very CGI because of, he wanted to make sure that people realized that this is all from Barry's perspective. This is supposed to be what it looks like when he's in the Speed Force and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff was purposely done to really envision what Barry was doing, and I think it did a phenomenal job. Now, with Andy, I think, like I said, he just did a great job with this film. He made a beautiful film, and I think that he had a really good eye for everything he brought to this film. And pretty much what he did is, you know, took a, you know, pretty much the Snyderverse itself, took it and revamped it for, you know, James Gunn and Peter Safran, and I think he did such a great and beautiful job and just did an amazing job giving us really great action sequences, really well done film, and just overall a really great story too as well that just really encompassed the Flashpoint perspective, or the Flashpoint story, I should say. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Andy Muschietti has directed, most definitely you should check out his great two films that are together and part of, you know, a representation of a great book that Stephen King wrote back in the 80s, and is just a really fantastic duo of films that really brings the essence of Stephen King's film book to life. And that happens to be the films known as It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. Yeah! It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2, yeah. Andy Muschietti did a fantastic job with these two remakes. Once again, I have to admit, I don't think that these films are very scary. I did not really see any jump scares in this film, and I like that's what Andy Muschietti did with them. I like that he gave them a more of a thriller horror vibe versus just being straight out horror. And I like that he took a lot of the great elements from Stephen King's book and gave us really good plot points and really good focalizations of different parts of the book that he really emphasized throughout the movies. And I really enjoyed that, what he brought to that. And just the whole cast of the film did a great job with these films, and I think Andy did such a great job of, directing them and getting some of the best performances out of these actors and actresses and giving us these really two solid films. If you have not seen the It films, definitely go check them out now. They're worth a watch. Andy did a really phenomenal job with it. But overall, like I said, I think Andy did an amazing job, a great phenomenal job with Flash, and gave us everything us fanboys were looking for this film, especially if you're a huge Flash fan, if you're a huge fan of the Snyderverse, or if you just were a huge fan of Ezra Miller's Flash. He brought that and gave us exactly what that was in a great action comedy world. Fantastically done by Andy. If you haven't seen anything Andy Muschietti has directed, definitely go check out The Flash in theaters now. He did a really amazing job. So this movie has, once again, a great all-star cast. We have a lot of people returning, reprising their characters from previous films. And then, of course, we have a few new additions to this film series that just really are enjoyable, really well done, and just a really great cast that brought this movie to life. Now, to start us off is none other than Flash himself, Mr. Ezra Miller! Oh yeah, Ezra Miller, woo! Ezra Miller, yeah! Ezra Miller! Oh my gosh. Now, Ezra Miller, I know, has had his difficulties over the last year or so. A lot of people have seen, very unfortunate, destructive behavior by him and, showing, unfortunately sometimes the lives can affect their quality of work. But I tell you what, Ezra Miller is a fantastic actor no matter what has happened in his actual personal life. He is phenomenal in everything I've seen him in, from, Perks of Being a Wallflower to, anything he's ever been in. He has just been super fantastic, and I knew from the first time I saw him in something, I knew he was going to be a phenomenal actor, and he truly is. And I just really enjoy Ezra Miller. I think he's, like I said, a really talented actor. And I think that his version of the Flash has been phenomenal. And I've absolutely loved every moment that he has played this character. And this movie just proved how much more I enjoy him as Barry Allen, the Flash. He just was absolute amazing. He was awesome. He was on point. Great humor, great seriousness when he had to be serious. And just overall, he played the character to the T that I feel is very similar to the comics. And he just was so super good. Now, if you haven't seen Ezra Miller in anything else, highly recommend check out a couple great films that he was in. It's a series of films, and I absolutely loved him as this character. He was phenomenal as this character, and just a really enjoyable, character that, was a great part of this great wizarding world. And then, of course, is the films. The Fantastic Beasts series. Yeah, the Fantastic Beasts series. Yeah, so Fantastic Beasts, where to find them? The Crimes of Grindelwald, and then, of course, the Dumbledore third and final film in that series, supposedly. Hopefully, we'll get more of Fantastic Beasts films, but that's supposedly supposed to be the conclusion of that, at least that storyline. But these films are just so amazing and so much fun and a great addition to the Harry Potter world. But at the same time, Ezra Miller's character in that film series is absolutely amazing. From that very first time you meet him in the first film to his ultimate kind of like his, conclusion to his character in the third film, he just really beautifully, grew that character, explored it, and then gave us a really good finale to that character. And I just absolutely loved everything he did with that character. I think that, his version of the character have grew exponentially through each film and given us a really great, wide variety of what that character could be. And I just think he did a really fantastic job of bringing that character to life and giving us a really solid character that was just so much fun. If you haven't seen the Fantastic Beasts films, definitely check them out for Ezra's performance. He was so superb in them. But overall, I absolutely fantastically loved him in this film. He was on point and just did a really amazing job and gave us a really great version, especially as he, plays two versions of himself in the film, where, his younger version of himself and then his current version, and he just was so beautiful as this character. He was just awesome. If you haven't seen Ezra Miller or anything recently, definitely go check him out in The Flash now. He was on fire. Just want to do some honorable mentions in this film too as well. The return of Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, as the respective characters from previous films popping up. This movie was really fantastic. You had, the great introduction to this version of Supergirl, which was so amazing done by Sasha Kellel. She really surprised me. I was really shocked at how good she was. Absolutely loved the presentation she gave to Supergirl, and I absolutely just loved her whole presence in the film, and she did a really good job. Interesting enough, she's actually a soap opera star that was on General Hospital for several years, and she did a really fantastic job. I was really impressed with her, and I thought she was a really fantastic Supergirl. She's definitely another one to watch out for upcoming actors and actresses to see blossom, because I think she's going to be a really fantastic actress. She was really amazing as the character. Really enjoyed her in it. So that brings me to the next actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film. Of course, is a returning awesome actor that played a amazing version of Batman several decades ago, and they brought him back, and I absolutely was so ecstatic for him to return, and it was great seeing him as this character again, because he is ultimately always going to be a great version and a great Batman. And that, of course, is Mr. Michael Keaton. Oh yeah, Michael Keaton, woo, Michael Keaton, yeah! Oh my god, Michael Keaton is absolutely fantastic. I love him in any movie he's ever been in. I absolutely love Michael Keaton. I think he's one of the best actors that has been around for the last 40, 50 years, and he is just so amazing. I absolutely love Michael. I think every, movie he's been in has just been so well done. He brings everything to the T, and he just makes everything so much fun. And, from characters like in Mr. Mom to My Life to, his little role as the father of Alexis Bledel and, that film, Herbie, the Herbie reboot with Lindsay Lohan. I mean, he is always fantastic at everything he does. And this particular revision of Batman, bringing him back and giving him this amazing, awesome opportunity was just such a fantastic and amazing job. Well done by Warner Brothers. He was absolutely fantastic. I loved his evolution through the film. I love what he brought to the character. I love that we got to see him in action and kicking butt again. I mean, for being 71 years old, still being able to fit into your original Batman suit from 1992 is freaking awesome. I absolutely think that's fantastic that he has not changed one bit and that he still looks that good. And he just did a phenomenal job of bringing that character back to life again and giving us one of the greatest nostalgias ever. He was absolutely superb in this film. Absolutely loved him in it. And I can't thank Warner Brothers enough for giving us this opportunity to see Michael Keaton as Batman again, because this was one of their best choices that they've done for the DC in all their DC films they've made. Fantastically done. Now, if you haven't seen Michael Keaton in anything, definitely check him out in a great film that came out in 1997, or 1996. That is a really great comedy film that has a great cast, directed by Harold Ramis, and is just one of my all-time favorites of his. And that, of course, is a film called Multiplicity. Yeah, Multiplicity. Oh my god, love him in this film. He's so freaking amazing in this film. Him playing the three different versions of himself, from, his regular version to number 2 and number 3, and then, of course, number 4, was absolutely freaking on point perfection. And, with this great cast that he had in this film, from Richard Masur to the gorgeous and beautiful Annie McDowell, Eugene Levy in the film, they all worked so well together and made this great, fantastic film that was absolutely hilarious. And some of the best comedic scenes I've ever seen, especially when he's getting ready to be cloned for the first time, and he's like, my my uncle went in for, you know, a dentist work, and he had one of the suction things stuck in there, and it's like, and now I talk like this all the time. Absolutely freaking hilarious, on point, great comedic timing. Freaking one of his best films ever. If you have not seen Multiplicity, definitely check it out, people. It's worth a watch. Amazing, and just shows how amazing of a talent Michael Keaton is. Give it a roll, people. It's worth a watch. But like I said, overall, I was so ecstatic to see him back in the film as Batman. He did a phenomenal job of the film, and he just was a really great addition to this amazing film. If you haven't seen Michael Keaton anything recently, definitely go check him out in the Flash in theaters now. He is worth the watch for this film. So that brings me to the final actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film. And this actor is new to the whole series. He hasn't been in any other DC films. And he actually replaced the original character that played Barry Allen's dad in the previous films that we've seen The Flash in. And that, of course, is the actor known as Mr. Ron Livingston. Oh yeah, Ron Livingston, woo, Ron Livingston, yeah! Oh my god, Ron Livingston, comedic gold. He's always fantastic, always enjoyable, and I just love what he brings to his characters. And I think everything that he does is, I like how he does it very deadpan, and he's just really good at doing that deadpan. And I feel that even in, you know, this film, The Flash, he actually showed a little bit of a different side to his acting. I was really impressed with it. I really enjoyed him as Barry's dad. I thought he did a good job of bringing that to life, giving us kind of a different take on a different character that he hasn't played before. And I just really enjoyed that he, you know, brought a different essence of his acting ability versus what I've seen him do before, and I was really impressed with it. Now, originally, Billy Crudup played Barry Allen, or Ezra Miller's Barry Allen version's dad in the Justice League film, but unfortunately, Billy Crudup had to bow out this time because he was having scheduling conflicts with another show he was working on, so we ended up getting Ron Livingston, who, like I said, I thought did a really good job. And I was really impressed and really enjoyed him in the film. Now, another great film he was in, if you haven't seen him in anything else, is a great film that came out in 1999 that is just a instant comedy classic that was so beautifully directed by Mike Judge. And that, of course, a film called Office Space. Yeah, Office Space, yeah. So Ron Livingston plays the main character in this film, and this is the first film I ever saw him in, and I absolutely, from the get-go, thought he was just amazing and awesome. Absolutely loved everything he did with the character, loved how he went from the character at the beginning of the film to the character he was at the end of the film, and I just really enjoyed what he brought to it. That, like I said, that deadpan comedy was so well done by him in this film, and then version where you kind of had this, like, almost, daydream, kind of like high kind of like vibe that he gave at certain aspects of the film when he's like making decisions was absolutely hilarious too, and on point to where somebody that might be hypnotized, how they would act. And I think that Ron did a great job of bringing that to life and give us a really kind of solid interpretation of what that would be like. And just, he has such a great all-star cast he worked with, Jennifer Aniston, to, you know, a great comedic actor that was on Mad TV that plays Michael Bolt in the film. He has the same name as the singer, which is absolutely hilarious. You had, just, you know, an ensemble great cast, Stephen Root, and so forth. And they all just worked so well together and made a really fantastic film. If you haven't seen Ron Livingston, definitely in Office Space, definitely check him out, people. He was so good in this film. A really great film as well. But like I said, I was really impressed with him in The Flash. Really enjoyed him, and I thought he did a really amazing job. If you haven't seen anything he's been in, or you haven't seen him in anything recently, definitely go check him out in The Flash now in theaters. He was fantastic. So what is The Flash about? Basically, the premise of The Flash is Barry Allen, once again, is saddened by the fact that his father's in jail for his mother's murder, his mother's dead, and basically he decides he's going to go, he learns that he can go back in time and wants to fix things. Well, when he goes to fix things, unfortunately, it causes more of a problem and changes the world. And basically, it's up to him to fix it and to get back to his real reality before this becomes a permanent thing, and that's what this film is about. Like I said, loosely based on the Flashpoint paradox storyline. And this film was just so well done, so enjoyable. Everything I wanted from this film got checked off. The humor, the action, the storyline, everything about it was on point and, to me, perfection. This is a fantastic film. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up. Can't wait to own this film. Can't wait for it to come out in 4K. Can't wait to watch it again. This movie was just so amazing. If you have not seen it yet, definitely go check it out in theaters now. Worth a watch. Really great film. Fantastically done. So that's it for this review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. Is this your first timer or you have been here before, don't forget to check out my older, newer videos you might not seen mine yet. As always, people, if you enjoy my channel and want to support, definitely check out my link down below, either for the awesome horror pack where you can get great horror films to your door every month for a great low price. So definitely check that out. See what kind of cool horror films you can get. It's really cool, man. And plus, also, if you go to that link, man, you'll get a discount on your first subscription. So definitely check that out. As always, people, catch you next one.